Hey, Shopify store owners, especially if you're selling on Etsy too. Here's a quick question. Are people actually finding your products on Google? If SEO feels confusing, overwhelming, or like something you'll get to later, this is for you. I'm hosting a free 7-day Shopify SEO challenge that breaks it down into simple, doable steps. No tech headaches, no fluff. Join us at aiseoschool.com. That's school with a K, aiseoschool.com. 7 days, it's free, better traffic. Let's go.
Basically unhelpful content, which is like the programmatic SEO or, just creating pages because you're like, oh, I want to game the algorithm. It's like, help people. SEO is helping people find a solution to the problem. That's it at the end of the day.
Welcome to the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast. I'm your host, Krista Waddell, here to bridge the gap between SEO strategy and real-world business success by bringing you insights, stories, and conversations from the SEO community and beyond. So grab a coffee or your favorite tea, and let's dive into smarter SEO for your business. Welcome back to the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast. I'm back with an old friend who is just killing it out there in the digital marketing world. Give a warm welcome in your heart wherever you're listening for Matt Diamante. He is here again to talk about SEO, break down some myths, talk about his new book, and just share about what he's been up to. So Matt, welcome back to the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to be here. It's been too crazy. I think it's been like 2 years since we did the last episode and a lot's happened.
Yeah, I see your reels pop up on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram a lot, but when I am, I see you.
It's all me.
And I just see like all of the success. And then I've seen some of your ads. So your targeting's working. You were already kind of pushing against like traditional SEO stuff when we first talked a couple years ago. And I thought you were just such a breath of fresh air. Like everybody seemed to kind of have a lid on SEO,
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, come over here. I want to tell you all about it. So I just wondered, like, what happened? Like, how did you explode over the last couple of years?
When I'm posting content online and like, I know we're going to get to it, but I also wrote a book that covers all of this stuff. But people, business owners specifically, don't know anything about SEO, and the SEO community kind of like gatekeeps it or makes it a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. Because at the end of the day, SEO is just providing solutions to problems, right? If you are a nail salon, for example, somebody is like, I need to get a pedicure, but like my nails are messed up, or, I'm going to a wedding, whatever it is. The problem that they're having is they don't have nice nails. The solution that you're providing is, I'm going to help you have nice nails. So that goes for any service-based business, any product-based business, and you're basically just solving a problem. And that's, I don't know why it's any more complicated than that.
Well, that also reminds me, I wanted to say congratulations, because I believe since we spoke last, you also got married.
I did. Yeah.
And so congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Did marriage change your trajectory at all? I know you were already on the entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
But, what's that like? Being a spouse, how has that impacted you?
Oh my God, she is such an angel. I am obsessed with, I don't want to say working because it's like really a passion for me, like SEO, doing any kind of marketing, filming reels, all that kind of stuff. She has gotten way more involved and more patient with me obsessing over this stuff. And we have not necessarily a code word, but I'm like, listen, I need like a week right now. I can't do anything else. I need to work on this stuff. And we've worked through that where it's more like, okay, well, I'm not just checking out, I'm actually doing this other thing and I will be back. Right? It's like commercial break almost. Since the last time we spoke, she is now working with me at my agency. So that is a whole other dynamic that we are navigating quite well, I must add. And it's great. We live together, we work together, we work from home. So that's a whole other thing. We're just together all the time.
What do you think that you've done differently to unlock this level of growth that your business has experienced? Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's honestly the same thing that like any business can do this, and it's not tough. It's not complicated. It's literally just showing up every single day for yourself and for your business. If you have that discipline, you will be successful. You'll watch all your competitors fade away who aren't showing up consistently, whether it's daily or weekly or whatever cadence that you can do. if you can outlast your competition, you can beat them.
I feel so convicted right now because I was like, I'm going to post every day. I'm going to go live every day. And I think I went live for like 5 days. I didn't really feel like I was getting any traction. And so, of course, I got a little unmotivated and my hyper focus moved on to something else. This is my sign. I've got to get back to that.
That's the thing too. It's almost like trend hopping. They're like, oh, SEO this week. Oh, I'm going to do social media. Oh, I'm going to go live. Oh, I'm going to focus on email marketing. I'm going to run ads. I'm going to do this. And it's like, if you just focus on any one of those things, you will see much more success than if you trend hop.
So true. Great advice. And then one of the things that I saw that you said, and maybe you say it in your book, but that SEO isn't broken. Most SEO advice is. So what do you mean by that?
So there's a lot of talk about like pillars and verticals and so much stuff that it's confusing to people who don't know the vernacular, the language, the words. They don't know what that stuff means. If I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have this content pillar. What does that mean? Right. So I basically break things down in the book and on social media where I'm like, okay, all you need to do is solve a problem that somebody is having. Right. So whether you're doing that with a product or service, or you're doing that by answering a question. Like if you just go to answerthepublic.com, which I'm not affiliated with at all, but it's a free website, at least now, where you can go in, literally type in what you sell. It'll show you a bunch of questions people are asking about what you sell. And like, just for example, if you type in hot sauce, it's like, is hot sauce bad for dogs? Right? Very easy question. And if you make hot sauce, you probably know not good for dogs. So you can answer that question. Somebody has a problem like, hey, I just fed my dog something with hot sauce on it. Is it bad for them? Do I need to go to the vet? Right. And you can say, yeah, it's bad for them. You should call your vet immediately or whatever. I actually don't know if it's bad for dogs, but so you're solving a problem for somebody where it's like, what is what's the hottest hot sauce? Right. So you can talk about that and then you're helping somebody solve a problem, find an answer to the question that they have. And that's literally all SEO is. It's problems and solutions.
So how do you form that into a strategy? You know, if you go there, you see there's a bunch of questions. How do you make that an SEO strategy? Just answer all the questions until they're finished? Or what do you recommend?
I mean, it's even talking about strategy. Like, I almost don't like that word because like, yes, it is a strategy, but it's simpler than that. You're just answering your customer's question, right? The more content you have on that topic, the more what we call topical authority, which is just Google saying, okay, I know that your site is about this topic. The easier it will be to rank for pages like your product or service pages that are actually going to make you money. I call those the money pages.
I have a funny story for you because I know you live in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So you live in Canada. Okay. So I have a client who lives in Canada and she's a dietitian. And one of the things that she ranks for is a blog having to do with the munchies. And it was hilarious because as I was looking through her Google Search Console report, it primarily had to do with a certain type of substance-induced munchies, if you will,
Yep.
And so she's a dietitian / nutritionist. And it's like, oh, this blog is doing so well. But it's funny how sometimes we inadvertently answer questions from people that aren't necessarily our clients, but they drive a lot of traffic. And so I was just wondering, like, how do you help people identify the questions that are worth answering?
Well, just in using your example, like somebody having the munchies, we all know what they're doing to have the munchies. That person is looking for a solution. Maybe they're like, every time I do that thing and I get the munchies, I don't want to get the munchies because I'm gaining weight, right? Like they have a problem. They know that they need help with it. So they are looking for somebody to help them, looking for information to help them. And in that blog post, for example, you could have like, hey, if you want to, get your life together, or whatever the verbiage you want to use is, if you want to get your life together, like talk to one of our nutrition coaches or talk to me. Like I can help you come up with a plan to help you either lose weight or gain muscle or whatever it might be.
So that's a great idea to still capture the traffic and then try to convert it. I thought it was so funny because the initial intent behind the article was just somebody who was kind of a binge eater.
Yeah.
And so I thought, wow, you really captured a whole different demographic.
I don't like having like, here's your avatar for the person that you're trying to target, because you might have an idea, but then, say you publish something about munchies and you're like, well, there's actually this whole other avatar, this whole other person that I can be targeting or attracting as a client that I didn't know before. So it's almost like, don't just assume, go with what the data says and keep adjusting from there.
Okay, let's talk about that. Google has matured and most strategies haven't. I think that might have been something else that you said before. What do you think people are still optimizing for that doesn't exist anymore?
One thing that people do is like programmatic SEO, which is basically just creating a whole bunch of pages automatically, swapping out keywords, doing all that kind of thing. And that kind of stuff just doesn't work anymore. I haven't seen that working recently. Google's getting smart. And I know you're saying Google's matured, but I feel like Google's always changing, right? And now we have, all these AI tools as well, where people are actually going there and asking questions and trying to get recommendations. Like I was just in Portugal. I got back last night, and on the entire trip, it was my wife and I and two friends, and they were all on their phones going, where's the best place to get whatever dish in Portugal or on this island that we're on or in this town, or where's the best hike? Stuff like that, where it's like, Google's not necessarily going to give you all of that information. Like you'd be a lot more specific with AI or asking AI ChatGPT questions, right? So it's forever changing, and like doing this like basically unhelpful content, which is like the programmatic SEO, or just creating pages because you're like, oh, I want to game the algorithm. It's like, help people. That SEO is helping people with, and I've said it a couple times now, but helping people find a solution to their problem. That's it at the end of the day.
So I have to tell you about an idea I have for programmatic SEO that I feel is helpful to Shopify store sellers. And when we're creating collection pages, a lot of times there is similar information or products within a collection where, and I think about Lowe's mulch. I saw this example the best with Lowe's mulch, because you go to Lowe's and you see the different types of mulch. But then you also see like a specific type of mulch in multiple colors. And I thought, wow, from the user experience perspective, that's actually very helpful, because sometimes I may not know the scientific makeup of mulch of what I'm looking for, but I do know that I want black mulch, and so to be able to see that. And so I've been studying like how they've created those pages and trying to recreate something similar that an artist can implement on a Shopify store as we're moving from Etsy. That's one of those projects that I'm working on right now. But I feel like programmatic SEO as an application in that situation might actually be helpful.
Yeah, I think to an extent it can be helpful. But basically what you're talking about are like long tail keywords that probably have very low difficulty. So when we're looking, and when I say low difficulty, if anybody's listening doesn't know what that means, that just means it's an easier keyword to rank for. All these tools give you like different scores and stuff like that. But if we're talking about like a specific type of mulch and in black color, people know if they're typing that in or any variation of that, like they're looking to buy, right? Again, they have a problem, you have the solution. And on those pages, like if it's a really easy keyword to rank for, nobody else is trying to rank for it, you can get away with doing less SEO or like having less content on the pages. And that's actually like a really good strategy that some people that I know are applying right now.
You've kind of moved into like a teacher role, your empathy towards somebody who might be listening, like, oh, I might have said something you don't understand. What have you learned about communicating your knowledge? How's that changed over the last couple of years?
If you can explain what you do to like a 10-year-old and for them to get it, you're being too complicated with it, right? Like I had to, and I still don't know if they know, but like for my parents, like for years, they're like, what you build websites? And I'm like, well, that's like part of what we do. And I had to like dumb it down. I forget who I was talking to, but they said it's dumb not to dumb it down, because when you're being hyper specific with like industry language or jargon, whatever you want to call it, you're kind of eliminating a whole bunch of people who want to get into it or have a problem, but they don't know what to type in, right? So if you can appeal to the lowest common denominator, you will widen your net and capture more people who are then kind of going to get into your ecosystem, right? So whether you're a dietitian or a nail salon or whatever it is, like you can take all of that stuff, dumb it down, and really attract more customers to your business. Now, when I explain what I do, I don't do SEO. I help businesses show up higher on Google. That's like, everybody can understand that.
I feel like AI and AI search, or at least the large language model search, has really benefited the industry in general, because this idea of burying the information in order to win the click, like that's never been great for the user experience, And so it's like, okay, I feel like at least with using a chat GPT or Gemini, you're getting to like the answer, which is what people are actually looking for. What do you think is a specific outdated SEO belief that people are still trying to hold on to?
I think it's that like you need to do a lot of SEO, right? Like you need to launch a website with hundreds of pages, all this. You really don't. So what I say, and like I also cover this in my book as well, and this is also what we do for our clients, is we publish 2 blog posts a week, or we update or create 2 new pages a week, right? That's all we're doing. Like we are building backlinks as well, which again, backlinks are just links from somebody else's website back to your website. But it's about being consistent, right? It's not launching a website, you have 100 pages or like 500 pages and hoping that Google picks it up and AI starts picking it up and you start getting traffic. It's more consistency, showing up over a longer period of time. I'm talking like 6 months to a year or longer, and getting that snowball kind of rolling a little bit. Like Google's not going to let you rank for a keyword that's getting 10,000 searches a month if you're a brand new website. They don't know you, they don't trust you, right? So it's building up that trust over time and like kind of ranking for these keywords that everybody else is ignoring. That's that snowballs, maybe it's 5 visitors a month from that one keyword. And that might not seem like a lot. 5 customers could be, really great for a business. And if you do that twice a week, all of a sudden you have 8 pieces of content getting you 5 to 10 to 20 to 100, visitors a month. That snowballs, right? So the days of, okay, I need a massive website, I'm just going to launch this thing, that doesn't really work anymore.
Okay, before we jump into your book, I have one last follow-up question here. So you mentioned, the 6 months to a year, like that traditional SEO timeline, it takes a while to get momentum, to get things working. What do you recommend that business owners do in the meantime while they're improving their SEO?
So that really depends on the business. Like if you have a budget, you can run Meta ads or you can run Google ads. Like Google ads will get clicks. That's like the highest intent there because somebody has a problem. And you're basically saying, I have the solution and I'm going to, bet real money on it that you're going to come to my site and buy my thing. So you can do that stuff, but that stuff costs money. And I don't know about you, but most small business owners don't have a bunch of cash that they can just burn through. So it's do anything that you possibly can. I was reading, I think it was Alex Hormozy, one of his books, and he was saying work 4 hours a day on your business, not in your business, like on your business. So marketing your business, getting the word out, all this kind of stuff. And for me, what's really worked, and I recommend this for all small businesses or all businesses, post organically on social media every single day. I'm talking about film a 30-second to 45-second clip, post it on Instagram, post that same clip on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, on Facebook. Also, by the way, Facebook has something like, it's like 3 billion users. It's a lot of people, and not enough people are publishing content on Facebook. So your reach on Facebook can be insane, and everybody's ignoring it.
I promise this is the last follow-up question before we move on. But I love that you said post the same clip across all those platforms. What about the haters who are like, you need to create it specifically for the platform? What's your feedback to that?
I've been doing this for like over 3 years at this point, the same clips on all the platforms. And I have like followers on Facebook, I have followers on Instagram, and a lot of followers there, TikTok as well, YouTube. Like I posted the same video that I posted everywhere else on YouTube. I got like 500,000 views. And I'm like, okay, well, if I would have followed the advice that I heard from somebody saying you need to go platform specific, I wouldn't have got all those views, right? And that video did well on every platform I posted it on, right? So what's wrong with doing that?
I love it. I'm glad to hear someone say that who's actually had tangible success doing that, because I feel like a lot of business owners, they get trapped in that idea that you have to create more and you have to create specifically. And I call it like a brand resume, and of all of the platforms to be the same to you wherever people find you. And most of us are working with small teams, if not, a team of one.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult to put the same type of expectations on that team of one that you might have for a brand that has entire departments. And so I'm glad that you shared that. I'm glad that you've had success with it. And I'm glad that people can say, hey, there's somebody who's done it a different way.
Well, so the thing too is like, I'm doing all of this myself. I'm filming the videos, I'm editing the videos like on my phone, posting them. I don't schedule anything out. If you're like, okay, we'll spend 2 days a month just recording videos and, editing them and scheduling those out. To me, I'm like, that's so much more work than waking up in the morning and being like, oh, I have this project that I'm working on and I can talk about a piece of that without revealing who the client is. Then I'm just going to film and educate people on that specific piece. Takes maybe like 20, 30 minutes to script something. And when I say script, I mean, I'm literally typing on like the notes app on my computer and just saying, okay, here's roughly what I'm going to say. And then you read it and then you look at your camera, you click record, and then you try to remember that. And then you can clip that all together. Like you don't have to be somebody reading from a teleprompter or like a professional speaker. You can clip things together. And yeah, I'm doing it on my own at this point. Maybe I'll get some help in the future, but it's very possible to do.
Hey, Shopify store owners, especially if you're selling on Etsy too. Here's a quick question. Are people actually finding your products on Google? If SEO feels confusing, overwhelming, or like something you'll get to later, this is for you. I'm hosting a free 7-day Shopify SEO challenge that breaks it down into simple, doable steps. No tech headaches, no fluff. Join us at aiseoschool.com. That's school with a K, aiseoschool.com. 7 days, it's free, better traffic. Let's go.